Isn't it nice to have friends that will back you up no matter what? I personally don't have any friends. Let that sink in. Not a single friend in this world. It's just me and a camera. But anyway, friends would be cool. Of course it would be, but I have no experience. So I can only go what it's like to see friends on TV. So let's go for friends in wrestling. We're talking about wrestling groups. Now, a wrestling group is three or more wrestlers that have some kind of common goal or whatever. And as much as it pains me, I'm not going to include Team Extreme, which was the Hardys and Lita, just because I think that was more a tag team with a valet than an actual team, even though it's my favorite team of all time. I'm not going to include them. And this is purely WWE, so no Four Horsemen, no NWO, even though Four Horsemen is probably the reason why there are still teams in wrestling. I'm going to base it purely on WWE just because I don't know the outside stuff well enough. Like, I don't know the history of teams outside WWE well enough to really be able to comment on that, but just know honorable mention, Four Horsemen, honorable mention, NWO, and the team I really wanted to include in this, but I just couldn't find a space for them. Honorable mention, I know this is probably incredibly hard take, Undisputed Era. I just really enjoyed them. Okay, let's start off with, and this depends on your taste, but it's the Wyatt family. Now, my favorite genre of movies is horror. I'm a big horror fan, and this was like a cult swamp horror family come to life. That kind of family that if you happen upon their lawn because your car broke down, and we're in the south of America. We're driving on a road trip, and our car breaks down, and we're looking for someone that we can use their phone, and we happen upon this house that looks slightly dilapidated, but you can clearly see there's life inside. And we happen upon this house, and we knock, and Bray Wyatt or Luke Harper or whoever opens, you just wouldn't, would you? Or Luke Harper opens, or Eric Rowan, or Braun Strowman just looking at you from the balcony on the second floor while Eric Rowan opens and Bray Wyatt sitting there in the back with his rocking chair. You just wouldn't, would you? You just run. So that's why I love this team so much. I know they were not booked nearly as well as they should have been. Bray Wyatt obviously had some single success, and rest in peace, two absolute legends of the business. I'm not going to say rest in peace every time, but I'm just starting this video. The Wyatt family, truly one of my favorite wrestling teams of all time. Next, it is D-Generation X. Now this, it's going to depend greatly on taste and greatly on your age, but I was a teenager when it was Stone Cold and DX running Monday nights. DX, when I was a teenager, of course. Now, if you were a grown-up, you probably didn't enjoy it that much. If you look back on it, it probably aged like milk, but I just look back fondly because I was a teenager and I thought this was the coolest. I wanted to be friends with Stone Cold, and as we've already established, I didn't have friends, and I wanted to be in DX. Okay, now the jokes they made, did it age well? Probably not, but that's beside the point. DX... Now, all credit goes to Stone Cold and Vince McMahon and their rivalry, but DX played such an integral role in integral role in the success of WWE's or WWF back then, their Attitude Era, and just it's the coolest group. It's the coolest. Obviously, you've got Bullet Club, also incredibly cool, but in WWE terms, it's the coolest group there's ever been. Next, we've got The Shield. Can you believe that The Shield was only really a team on the main roster for around about 2 years? And it feels like they accomplished everything. I mean, they debuted in 2012 to help CM Punk beat Ryback. Can you remember when Ryback was such a big threat that CM Punk had to bring in the Hounds of Justice to beat him? He's retired now, pretty sure, legally. And they broke up in 2014, which is sad because I think they had another little while in them. Now, teams are made to break up and to push individuals and all of that. So I get why they broke up, but I think they still had a little bit of steam left. And look what it did to three individuals. I mean, Dean Ambrose, he's one of the cornerstones of AEW. You've got Seth Rollins, who's been in and around the main event for WWE since, when was it, 2016, 2017. He's been in and around the main event. Then, of course, you've got Roman Reigns, who's arguably one of the biggest names in pro wrestling in the last 20 years. Just this group just skyrocketed three individuals that are clearly incredibly talented. And then lastly, it's got to be Evolution. I mean, they were a thing when I was a young man, and I hated them, but I hated them for all the right reasons. It's three guys doing everything in their power to protect their leader's reign of terror. Now, this group was set up basically. They took everything the four horsemen were and just did it in WWE. You've got the grizzled veteran leader. You've got the current absolute dominating heel. You've got the muscle, the guy who protects your team no matter what. And then you've got the young up-and-coming rookie who went on to become one of the absolute goats of wrestling. This team was everything a team should be. Just a bunch of guys with a collective goal in mind and doing everything to ensure this goal is met. And those are my 4 favorite teams of wrestling. Hope you guys still enjoyed this one. Let me know your 4, or not in wrestling, in WWE. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know your 4. Until next time, peace.